Good morning. This is Rajsekar Polapragada. With the audiobooks getting more and more popular, I thought my latest book on successful management styles of India, I can read it out for youngsters who have given up reading the books. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. This is Goethe, from whom I took this quote. Chapter 4, Management Principles Not Popular in India. During my daily discussions, once I asked Gordon, how can you complain to me about my own country? I am very much an Indian and a patriotic too. Listening to the reply of Gordon, I was really impressed. He said, some people don't mind accepting their mistakes, and few like to correct them. And Raj, you're one among them. So I was flattered. I explained to Gordon a philosophy shared by majority of successful managers of India who may not like some practices but would like to carry on others to complete the job. In fact, most of these management studies are tailored on the Western university syllabi. Each successful manager goes back to their country and adapts their culture and specialities to suit the need of the time, place, and their culture. Continuing our discussion on traffic management, we wandered into the people-specific, culture-related preferences and dislikes. Some management principles are not appreciated nor applied in India, which we went on to discuss. The two topics which many Indians would not like to discuss or debate are the time management and the traffic management. Apart from them, company after company, legend after legend, who have ignored some of the time-tested management principles. And I have highlighted 4 of them in this chapter. They are transparency, succession, empowerment, and compliance to the rule book. Now, why did I choose these 4 management principles? Why are these 4 management principles very important? Let us see. Sometimes our likes and dislikes may have something to do with the traditional, local, and circumstantial and contemporary political situations. However, there are several excuses for not implementing them, such as some are official reasons, some are with a hidden agenda. I always felt what works in India may work elsewhere, but what works elsewhere may not work in India. Why did I come to this conclusion? In fact, that is one of the main reasons why I penned this book, Successful Management Styles of India. Let us see why these 4 management principles which I highlighted are very important. Truth and transparency is the only way to earn loyalty of others. Trust of employees is essential to run an enterprise. Trust of a shareholder is the key to raise the capital. Of course, government has to earn the trust of public. A husband has to earn the trust of wife and vice versa. A father has to earn the trust of the children, and then the children have to earn the trust of the parents. A private body which is imaginary personality, like a entrepreneur or enterprise or a corporation, has to also earn the loyalty of its employees, its shareholders, its government, public at large. Even in democracy, a public trust is synonymous with trust of the government, which all depends on transparency. So there is no escaping from the fact that transparency is not required, and this is what exactly many of these Indian corporations have ducked. Not that all the companies have done it. There are some good companies, especially Tata's, Infosys, the South Indian company TVS, many more have shown the transparency, which we will be seeing in the next chapter. The second principle is succession plan. Succession plan ensures continuity of any corporation. In fact, even for an individual, succession means the family. A man is not immortal, so do corporations. Hence, succession plan is essential for the long-term viability of any organization. The third principle is empowerment. Empowerment helps ease of operation as well as higher output is possible only through empowerment. It is a prerequisite or logical step to succession. Many succession plans fail due to failure of implementing the time-tested delegation and empowerment. Empowerment is essential for succession plan, like flowering and fruits are essential for survival of a tree. Finally, a compliance or following the rule book is essential to maintain mutual benefit of society and enterprise, which in turn helps society to live in peace. Following rule book is essential for business to prosper and enterprise to coexist and work for the benefit of society. This is possible by avoiding covert and corrupt operations. However, transparency is often confused with confidentiality, and sometimes it is used to hide real intentions of top bosses. The second one is succession is often delayed due to lack of team building and reluctance of top management to lose the control. Third, empowerment is often not favored due to lack of confidence in staff, due to incompetency of staff or inadequate training. Thus, supervisors' lack of confidence in staff and sometimes lack of self-confidence in himself is also the reason for not empowering staff. Finally, rule book is not followed by many in India due to general indiscipline, or I would call it as unlimited freedom at all levels. There is another big reason for non-compliance, which is unethical and selfish. Whatever may be the reason, if rule book is not followed, all have to suffer. Now, before we close this chapter, we will look at the interrelation of all four principles. It creates more problems, and the problems will cascade if one of the four principles is not followed. One by one, each principle is broken, and eventually corporation crumbles. So also society or a government. Like a puzzle, we have to start at one point. That should start at the top of the organization, as the buck stops at the top. As we all saw, one prime minister in 2014, Mr. Modi, when he took over, and the whole nation has changed its perception. So far, many thought there is no solution to corruption. But with two ex-chief ministers, one from Haryana and another from Bihar, were sent to jail, Indian voters started thinking it is possible. With a couple of high-flying businessmen are brought to their knees and their properties confiscated. So now the NPA, the non-performing assets of banks, they look healthy, and there is a collection of about, say, more than 50%, or say about 6 to 7 lakh crores recovery by the banks. Now, what follows is the action. Now, let us go into each of these four principles, how they have been ignored by many successful managers in India, and what is the background, history, or traditional cultural support for this. We'll see in the next one. So this is the fourth chapter from Successful Management Styles of India, and this volume is what is different.